What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today I'm going to actually show you a video that I showed you a couple of weeks ago. It's Speaker McCarthy talking about where he wants to go next with cuts. And I want to show you this because I want to compare what he's saying to what actually happened last year. So what happened in 2022 when it came to spending. And I want to show you this because I still have people in the comments that are saying, you know what? They're not going to cut Social Security. They're not going to cut Medicare. And this is the next step. This is what Speaker McCarthy wants to do. And so he will have the opportunity to put this on the floor and actually vote on a bill to cut Social Security and Medicare. Now, will this bill go any further? Probably not. However, if Speaker McCarthy can maintain the House and the Senate goes to Republicans and the presidency goes to Republicans, then we're looking at a situation where this could very well happen. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification, clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And just a reminder, thank you guys all for your support. I really appreciate it. You can also follow me on Twitter at the TEC Show Live. Okay, I'm going to play this clip. And I've played this before, but this is the next step. So this was right after the debt ceiling, right after they negotiated that. This is what Speaker McCarthy said. Here we go.
Your victory. I was elected to help lead this nation. So the first thing we did, open the House up. The bills, you now get to see them before you ever vote on them. And now we're cutting. And you know what? I'm going to make some people uncomfortable by doing that. But I'm not going to give up on the American people. And this isn't the end. This doesn't solve all the problems. This is the first step. I'm going to announce a commission coming forward from the Speaker, from bipartisan on both sides of the aisle. We only got to look at 11% of the budget to find these cuts. We have to look at the entire budget. The Congress has done this before.
Why didn't you see the whole budget?
Because the president walled off all the others. The majority driver of the budget is mandatory spending. It's Medicare, Social Security, interest on the debt. So you only have 11% to look at this budget. But we were able to increase our defense to protect us, take care of our veterans. But you know that non-defense with veterans out, we are now going to spend less than we spent in 2022. That's a major victory.
Okay, so that was Speaker McCarthy. Now, he was talking about the main drivers being Social Security, Medicare, and interest on the debt. So that is where he wants to go next. Now, I just want to take a look. And now this is discretionary spending that we're going to be talking about right now. So he's talking about mandatory spending, that the drivers are Social Security, Medicare, and interest on the debt. Of course, interest on the debt will be one of them. But that was created by guess who? Congress. Congress created this debt. So there, yes, we have to pay. That's mandatory that we have to pay the interest on the debt. That's something that they created. When we're looking at Social Security, that's the payroll tax. That's the FICA tax. We're paying into that, and that's how the funds for those benefits are issued out. Just the same thing with Medicare. You pay into Medicare, and those benefits are issued out. And so this is coming from a different pool of money, and that's why it's mandatory spending when it comes to Social Security and Medicare. But Speaker McCarthy, he wants to go after that. I want to show you this. This is pretty interesting. This was 2022. Okay, so the budget for 2022. Now, this is discretionary spending, okay? So this is not the mandatory spending, Social Security and everything, so it's not going to be on this list. But when you're looking at this, what's very interesting and what's very apparent is the fact that look at military spending, that's in blue, compared to everything else. Military spending is where we're spending the vast majority of our money when it comes to discretionary spending. And so guess what? In that negotiation, they're going to be raising military spending. And so some of these other areas, they're going to be seeing cuts, but they're raising military spending. But when you look at military spending compared to everything else, it's almost comical to say, well, why are you cutting some of these other areas and not even looking at military spending? That's not even on the table. And that's what I find really sad about this whole situation. You're saying you're taking the vast majority of the money when it comes to discretionary spending is going towards the military, but that's off the table. You're not going to make any cuts when it comes to that, but then you want to cut these other areas. And now what they want to do, what's next, is they want to cut Social Security and Medicare. And that is on the table. And so they're not even going to look at military spending. Matter of fact, they want to continue spending more and more on military spending, But when it comes to Social Security and Medicare, that's what they're going to be looking at. That's what they're looking at next. And so that's why we just saw this new plan. This 175 members of Congress are coming together and saying we need to raise the full retirement age of Social Security to 69. That's why we're hearing things like that. This is only going to continue. Now, where does it go from here? I would anticipate that we are going to see a vote in the House when it comes to raising that full retirement age to 69. They're going to vote on that. They're going to pass it. It will go to the Senate. It will die in the Senate, because most senators are not going to go for anything like that. Now, that's a good news. However, the bad news is you actually have 175 congresspeople talking about raising that full retirement age, talking about actually making cuts to Social Security. That is dangerous, because we have an election just right around the corner. And in that election, if the Senate goes to Republicans and the presidency goes to Republicans, guess what? Now Speaker McCarthy will have an opportunity to move this forward. And that's why it's very important to pay attention. And that's why I do these videos where I do letter grades for these politicians when it comes to Social Security and how they feel about Social Security. The reason that I'm doing that is because you need to be informed. When you're voting for some of these people might not have your best interests in mind. And so when it comes to Social Security, some of these politicians might want to actually make cuts, and you could be voting that person into office, and then in the future, we'll see that actually happen. And so in the coming months, we're going to hear a lot, and we're going to see a lot of these politicians out campaigning, and we should know how they feel about Social Security and Medicare, and we should know if they want to make cuts to Social Security and Medicare. So I'm going to keep you guys posted, so make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell notification. But I want to just hammer this home. When it comes down to Social Security and Medicare, something needs to be done in the next 10 years. We know that. And so if you have politicians in place that want to make cuts to Social Security, if they have that opportunity, they will follow through with that opportunity and make those cuts. And so I want to know what you guys think about all this. So let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.